Good evening, good day, but likely when you clicked on this video, it's morning time. Ain't no better way to start your day than with me. Pelicans Daily presented by Fan Arch. I'm your host, Dylan Bruton. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. When you're chilling with Dill, you already know the drill. What's gotta be said, don't gotta be said. Um, so appreciate y'all as always for the support continuously. It's the only way that this grows. I know last video I started off the episode had a lot to say, had a lot to get off my chest in regards to my thoughts on some of the recent articles that were put out that were very, in addition to negative, just just soft, man. I don't respect it, man. We're trying to build a winning culture, and you're moving like a loser. And I got none but love for the staff up at Pelican Debrief, guys like Chris Lambert, Andy Quake. But that weak stuff, that loser talk, that's not gonna fly in this fan base. Those days are over. We're building a team. We're building a winning roster. We're building an organization from top to bottom that is committed and dedicated to winning and with a goal of hosting an NBA championship. And it first starts at the root, it starts at the mind, it starts what type of thoughts that you possess and carry. It starts about your belief in yourself. And you damn near have to be delusional about it. And I delusionally believe that this team, I gotta really sit and think about like, okay, how much of a time span do I want to give realistically? But I think that we're as a team, I think we are a lot further along than further back. We made some great moves, and we're going to continue to do so. We've got new and improved leadership, and that's just the only way that you get better. It starts with who is making the decisions. So people want to know, like, why do you get on this soapbox with it like that? It's because winning, right, is the most important thing in life. Forget anything else. To win at all costs, win by any means necessary. So that's just where my mentality is. I'm an ultimate competitor. Ultimate, you know what I'm saying? If you come to my spot, it's stuff with Kobe, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, Larry Bird, Saints. You know what I'm saying? Vince Lombardi, Tupac. I could go on the Rolodex of all these great men who have inspired me. What do they all have in common? I mean, you can see the Pac hoodie. Yeah, shout out to the GOAT. They all were competitors, all wanted to be the best at whatever it is that they're doing. That's why I go so hard for this team as I do, because I want to see us be at our best. There is a method, there is a reason for everything. Don't ever get it confused, don't ever get it twisted. But now that we got that out the way, I do want to give flowers to somebody who I have a tremendous amount of admiration and respect for. And I also got to meet last year. So as you see with this headline, should we look to acquire Jonathan Kaminga Part 5? Because I have talked about him quite a bit. I don't know how many times I talked about him truly, but I figured, it's probably been like 5, 6 times. So we'll see. But Brandon Scoop B. Robinson, if you are not familiar with his name, hey, you better be familiar with this game because that brother is nice with the pen, and he can also interview in person. I had an opportunity to meet him last year at the Black Sports Business Symposium in Atlanta. What a guy! Tremendous professional, incredibly down to earth, hilarious, like laugh out loud, your chest hurt, hilarious. You know what I'm saying? And really knows the game. There's a reason why players, coaches, media, filmmakers, XYZ, they respect his acumen, they respect his knowledge. And that's why I go so hard, or maybe hard is the wrong word, but I hold journalists to such a high standard because I've seen greatness right in front of my eyes. I've been able to be in the same rooms and environments. And I don't take that lightly on my own end either. So that's why I just go so hard and get so passionate about it because it's like, no, I care about this. And if you don't care about it, then I don't want to hear what you got to say. If you don't love the game, if you never fell in love with it, then why are you writing about it? Like real talk. I, I mean, I get it. Bills got to be paid, but like, man, there's better uses of your time. You could find something that you love and that pays the bills. You know, but teach his own. Teach his own. But he wrote a really great article on Jonathan Kaminga, and I'm like, it's so funny because one of the first articles that I wrote when I was a writer for Clutch Points was on Jonathan Kaminga. So if you ever want to go look up my writing profile, go ahead, and you'll find the Jonathan Kaminga article up there. Dylan Bruton, it is out there. Little drop, but I'm being modest. Anyway, though, so he talked about Jonathan Kaminga. There is a lot of chatter about us getting Jonathan Kaminga, right? Um, Especially talk about us, orchestrating a sign and trade. We first have to get his salary down because right now, most likely his asking price is going to be a little too steep, and we are 3.4 million under the luxury tax, and we have to make sure that we are adhering to the CBA rules and free up some space. And unfortunately, he did suggest using Jordan Hawkins in the deal, and I was like, oh no, not my guy Jayhawk. But I get it though. I get it. This is a business at the end of the day. Tough decisions are made, even with players that you like. It just is what it is, and it all comes down to what have you done for me lately? You might have had a great rookie year, but if it's not, if there's no continued signs, then you're going to be expendable in moments like these. Now, I personally think Jordan Hawkins has a very bright future, whether he's with us or someone else. So I'm not with the notion of just giving up on him so fast. It's not like he played bad. It's just his efficiency went down, and he was dealing with injuries. So it's just those things kind of compounded, and you could chalk up the season this past year to efficiency issues and injury issues. But Jonathan Kaminga averaged 15 a game, a little over 4.5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 45% from the field, 30.5 from three, and nearly 67% from the free throw line. The talent with Jonathan Kaminga has never been out of question, right? 6'6", 6'7", can play three positions, which that is a very lost art, right? He can play the two, he can play the three, and he can play the four. And can create his own shot, is incredibly athletic, has long arms, comes from impressive pedigree, 5-star recruit that was one of the top players in his class, played at the G League Ignite, went pick 7, got minutes on the 2022 Warriors championship. So put some respect on Kaminga's name. But it was those last three playoff games versus the Timberwolves that really upped his stock and his name to another level. Why? He averaged 26, 3 boards and assists in those 3 games on almost basically 52% from the field, 36 from 3, and 70% from the free throw line. I mean, those are crazy numbers. Are they sustainable? That is the question that everyone's going to ask. But I think a player of his talent, he's just showing and proving, hey, Coach Kerr, if you don't appreciate me, somebody else will. I'm shining like a diamond out here. And I might have to strike the Heisman, But Scoop also brought up how, Kevon Looney was Jonathan Kaminga's locker room OG. And I was thinking about, okay, so if we were to go forth to try to put together a deal, put together a trade, right, you would have Kevon Looney, Jonathan Kaminga, and Jordan Poole. 3 Golden State Warriors. That'd be crazy. That would be like the craziest twist of events. It would be. But nothing's impossible. At this point, we should be expecting the unexpected. Expect a move that doesn't make sense on paper. But yeah. So and then also we have to make sure that if we do this, the package meets CBA requirements. And work out a nice deal with the base year compensation rules. Um, if I don't meet certain financial criteria, guess what? I ain't living here. I'm gone. I gotta bounce. So I get it. And CJ, I think his heart was in the right place when he came up with this. When he helped construct and orchestrate this second apron, the CBA, the stricter stipulations on the CBA. But I also think about like what if you are a team that you have some big contracts, like you've built from the ground up, but you also have some big contracts. How do you work that out? So it's right now it's in the baby phase, but I think something's gonna get figured out soon. Soon. Um, and we're not the only suitor, right? We're not the only team that wants him. Miami wants him, Chicago, Sacramento, and it makes sense. All those teams kind of don't have a direction. They're not good enough to get a top pick, but they're not bad at. They're not good enough to compete for a championship. Not bad enough to. That was just the flip up. And they're not bad enough to get a top pick, so they're in that purgatory limbo stage. And a player like Kaminga, who has shown the potential to be a potential face the franchise guy, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So we'll see what happens. My personal opinion is no, because the article will suggest Scoop's article was suggesting that we would have to maybe give up Trey, Herb, and some first round picks. Look, man, we already gave up one, and folks ain't stopped talking about it. They haven't, but two or two, an amazing player like amazing player that is beloved, it gets appreciation. No, you don't want to give up those guys because that impacts locker room chemistry. That impacts the fans. So it's like and then yeah, you don't want to lose first round picks. So my personal opinion is no. But hey, everybody's gonna do things different. Everybody has different wants, needs, desires. For that one though, not with that one. But shout out to Mr. Scoot Robinson. Salute, a legend and an OG in this business. But now let's get to my favorite part. I know I said the comments, but this has been it's really exciting to talk about the summer league because it's coming up close. It's literally only a couple weeks away. But as Richie Mills in his Yahoo Sports article, laying out who we were playing the summer league, and he also is the inspiration for the preseason article. But stay tuned. We're gonna be playing the Portland Trailblazers on July 15th. So get your popcorn if you're in the city, if you're in Las Vegas and Sin City. But if not, if you got League Pass, go crazy, go wild. So a guy that I'm really excited to see is Hansen Yang. Hansen Yang got picked 15th in this past draft, was literally in the stands, right? Rocking the all-white suit like LeBron in 2003. And as a player, they've called him a Chinese Jokic. And I'm like, okay, a lot of these guys are getting Jokic comparisons. Who actually goes and does it? I'm like, this is like, when every 6'8" to 6'8" through 6'10", 6'11" wing was getting compared to Kevin Durant if they had like a semblance of a pull-up game handle. They got that comparison, and sometimes, that's a lot to put on a player. It really can be. But with Hansen, he averaged 16 and a half a game, 10 and a half boards, 3 assists, 2.5 blocks, almost 59% from the field, 33 from 3, and nearly 67% from the free throw line. Now, who's going to have his work cut out for him? Derek Queen. But this is a first-round battle. It's always great to see 2 first-round picks go at it with each other. Derek Queen was picked just, never would have made it. No, he made it to the lottery. He did at pick 13, right? Hansen didn't. Hansen went pick 15. So there's differences in how the rookies scale and how they get paid if you're a lottery pick versus if you're not. And then obviously if you're a first-round pick versus your second-round pick. But he's been compared to guys, like I said, he's been compared to guys like Sengun and Vukovic, and Derek Queen got compared to Alperen Sengun quite a bit by me and by others. Plenty of people who scout, plenty of people who come up with criteria and stuff like that to judge a player. But I like that matchup a lot. I actually really don't know who's going to win it because Derek has him on weight and Hansen got him on size. So we're going to see. Stay tuned. But I think that's going to be a battle. That's going to be like a battle of the Mohicans. So, hey, a little something to look forward to. Now, Ryan Rupert, the 6'6", two-guard and forward, who was a second-round pick out of France 2 years ago. That's going to be the matchup for Micah Peavy, right? So far in his NBA career, he's only averaged 3 a game, 1 board, assist, 41 from the field, 73% from the free throw line, and 3-point shot. That's not his game. It's got, sorry, I read his stats wrong. I read his stats all wrong. That's why, man. My handwriting's chicken. I call myself. I gotta get better. I have a whole degree. What am I doing? He shot 77% from the free throw line. He shot 27% from 3 and 77% from the free throw line. Yeah. He was compared to guys like OG Anunoby, Nicholas Batum, Isaac Okoro, and our very own Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. Was just bumping that song, Lily, a couple days ago. That is a wild song, but one of the greatest of the 70s. But that's a great matchup for Micah Peavy. There's a lot of similarity, height, in terms of being like physical players, guys that aren't going to necessarily win with finesse and are great defenders. So I like that. I like that matchup for Micah. You know what I'm saying? Big Easy Peavy or Easy Peavy. I think that's the right matchup for him, and I think it's gonna bring out the right stuff. So stay tuned, but I like that one a lot. Then last but never least, all in the name of love. All in the name of love. Rest in peace to Wayne Scott of Atlantic Star. Caleb Love, former UNC. I talked about RJ Davis on the Lakers, right? And I liked Caleb Love as well. If I could have been Caleb Love's agent in 2023, that young man would have been a first-round pick because I would have told him, yo, leave now. Don't come back. Don't give the scouts more opportunity and room to dissect and pick apart your game. But he just signed recently with the Blazers on a 2-way contract. He was able to rebound really nicely for himself up at Arizona for his 5th-year senior year. Averaged 17 a game, 4 boards, 3 assists. Who put up numbers like those? 43% from the field, 34 from 3, and 88% from the free throw line. There's this young point guard that we got, and he ain't scared of nothing. Oh, Jeremiah Fears. That was a horrible setup. I could do a way better setup. I actually took a stand-up comedy class and do a little side. So, but Jeremiah Fears, right? And Caleb Love is 6'4", being compared to Rashad McCants, who is by far my favorite cast member of Gil's Arena. And if you know me, that's not a surprise. Just my personality. It's not. Monte Ellis Light. Loved Monte Ellis growing up. It's kind of a bummer because like him and Steph, I think could have been a really nice duo, but we didn't get to see it enough. Jody Meeks and Dion Waiters. Yo, man. First off, Jody Meeks was a bucket at Kentucky. He was on like one of the last Billy Gillispie teams before Calipari stepped in. And then Dion Waiters. Dion Waiters was a bucket in high school and was a bucket in college. And I thought was going to be a bucket in the NBA. And he showed flashes, and that he's got that iconic quote of like, I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9 because that means I kept, I shot myself out the game and overthought it. So, hey, that's a good comparison for Caleb Love, right? Caleb Love is a guy who's going to look for his shot. Is not the most efficient, but he's a bucket getter. 6'4" point shooting guard. Jeremiah fears this all reads similar to him, but he's doing this as a freshman, right? So it just goes to show you his level of can't speak. His level of preparation, his level of talent, his level of impact, and his level of skill. This is going to be a perfect matchup for him. You have two guys who are on completely different sides of the spectrum, but they both meant a lot to their teams on that end as the scorer, as the distributor. So it's like you got two people on their own respective hero's journey, and they're about to face each other. So I love this matchup as well. I do think that Jeremiah wins it just because I think he's gonna trust his teammates a lot more, look for a shot. But then again, I don't know. Only time will tell. We're gonna see. But I like this. I like these matchups for our three rookies. Now, sure, there's other guys, but all eyes are gonna be on our three rookies. Make no mistake. If you're a Pelicans fan and you pull up to Vegas, you ain't worried about the practice squad guy that gets waived every now and then. No. You worried about the actual people that are gonna be in those, those spots with you. That's just how it goes. So yeah. I feel like this is a good matchup for our young guys. And I think each of them, I think of any game, each of these players is going to bring something out profound and special. It's going to test them. But I got faith that they're going to be able to rise to the occasion because they never stopped. They never stopped, and they're going to bring that type of mentality over here. We're building and changing the atmosphere daily. It's not what it used to be. This ain't the Pelicans of the old. It's not. It's not. So, hey, perfect way to segue. So, as discussed, right, the Rockets, man, those doggone Rockets, they don't have the same problems either that they used to have. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, most notably, they picked up Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, they did pick him up, but they picked up Kevin Durant, which is insane. Insane. You to a team that already got Alperen Sengun, Amin Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. I mean, I could go on and on and on about how stacked that Rockets team is. And if OKC doesn't repeat, then Houston is my pick for who I think objectively, reasonably, is going to get there. We play our first two American preseason games versus two Australian teams in Australia. So the first time that fans can come pull up is on October 14th out at the Birmingham Jefferson Convention Inn or Center. That's what it's going to pop up on Google in Birmingham, Alabama. Now, we were 0-4 versus them last year, but last year is last year. This is a new year. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. It's a new season. It's a new dawn upon us. We're not the same team as before. We've got way more guys. We're not undermanned. We're not understaffed. We've got a great front office that is doing a good job and steering us in the right direction. So who wins that game? I don't know. We still got to get through Summer League. We still got to get through part of training camp. See what guys show out, what guys make the most of the opportunity. But I love this matchup, right? Who doesn't want the chance to be able to see Kevin Durant play before it's all said and done? That's what people forget. Like, preseason, if you're not in a city where there's no, if you're in a city where there's no pro teams, there's no NBA, there's no NFL, right? You have to take advantage of every opportunity presented. So if I was y'all, and you not that far from Birmingham drive-wise, make the trip. Bring the whole fam. Why not? And if I'm there, y'all gonna know. Make no mistake. But yeah. So now to my favorite part. Now to my favorite part of these videos, even though I did say like breaking the summer league down. Breaking the summer league down is a tremendous joy. But responding to y'all, there was some good comments. Very good comments. I guys first start with my guy Shek68, who's commented plenty before. Nothing but negativity with the brief. Chris Lambert. It's like it's on purpose from Another Hateful Market. Yo, I want to make it very clear. I rock with Chris. He's a great writer, amazing writer. But I want him to shift his mindset. I want him to have some faith in the team. Hope is far from lost. And if that's what you took from this draft and then looking at the Rockets, then, you're not going to be a winner. Because think about it in the Bible, right? David went up against Goliath. We all know that story with a slingshot. And he went out there and got it done. That's us right now, right? We're the underdog. People are counting us out, but that's what fuels greatness. The chip on your shoulder, the desire to prove and show, hey, this ain't the same team no more. So that's why I say, you got to put out good messaging, right? And also give credit and acknowledge where it's due. Sure, you're not going to agree with every single move, but if you're already looking for the negative, then you've lost. So, appreciate you, Shex. I know you get it. Brother Jan, yo, Dylan, I never knew a Pelicans debrief until you referenced them on a daily basis. Now you got me locked into these hated ninjas. And yes, it said ninja, but don't forget, I can say it. Some of y'all can't. Come on now. I couldn't resist. That's the comedic side of me. But that's not even touching the iceberg. Not even close. If I really get in my bag, y'all, you gonna have them stomach pains too. Like you got hit. You know what I'm saying? But look, I just want to make it very clear. I got nothing but love for Pelican Debris. There's no beef. I just did not like the articles that I was seeing. Running for the hills, giving up. That's not in the culture of New Orleans. That's not in the history of New Orleans. Do your research. Do your Googles. Pick up a book. Go outside, touch grass, interact with people in the community. Quitting and giving up is not who New Orleans is. It's not who the Big Easy is. Louisiana in general, I just don't, nah. So, yeah, we ain't doing it with those types. And now this was the most, basketball, this was the most basketball comment. As opposed to just on a message. But regulation, Rick Brogan, 7314. Dog, if the coaching know anything basketball-wise, you would want to play Queen at the 4. Here's the starting lineup. Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy at the 2, Zion at the 3, Derek Queen at the 4, Queen at the 5. Missy, I think it just says help. But he might have just had a little spelling error. It's all good. It happens. Missy helps Herb come off the bench to help Fears as a second in line. Let go. Thank you. Yes, I would love for us to see what happens if we put if we put Derek Queen and Eve Missy together, and we run a starting lineup and put Zion at the 3, right? Zion this offseason. My guy, I'm challenging you, get that jumper better. Because I promise you, that's going to extend your career. You're not gonna worry about, oh my God, I got to do these earth-shattering dunks. Or I got to make these crazy layups that are going to, that stuff has impact on your knee. Sometimes you got to take that smart jumper. For him, he's left-handed, so it's actually a nice-looking form. Not bad. I'm right-handed, though. But yeah, so... And when there is good, there is also bad and negative. But I do appreciate you, regulation. Stop at any time. When there is good, there is also bad. Or not bad, but there's just going to be people who are detractors. Mr. Jonathan Durham 6678. Now, I hope you're not from Durham because I got a lot of love for Durham. I got some good ties over there. He said, spending half your pod attacking a fan for having an opinion, no matter how bad, is not a good look. Just FYI, peace out. Now, I just want to say, Jonathan, if you're watching this, I appreciate the thoughtfulness, right? But the reason why I was on their body, I was on their neck, tar and feather, is because I can't co-sign it, especially after moves like those. A guy like Miles Turner is a talented player, but he did not show up in this finals like that. If he did, Indy would have won. Make no mistake, because he had Chet locked up pretty much most of the series. But outside of that game one where people weren't expecting him and some of the other Pacers players to take that leap and take that step and show, hey, we're not just the other guys. We're valuable pieces. It was a little too late. OKC had kind of plotted out and figured things out a little bit more. But shout out to my guy, I am him, but you are not. Facts. Hey, talk that. That's how you have to carry yourself. Both of y'all in the comment section complain about someone complaining on their own channel. Nobody cares about what you think. Go create your own channel and make all the content you want to watch. Problem solved. Boom, 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 boom. What they say in URL? Dom DeMarco. Facts. Look, if you don't like this channel, I promise I'm sleeping just fine. Go watch another one. There's plenty of other Pelicans channels. And a lot of them, from what I've witnessed, tend to be a little bit more on the negative side and more pessimistic. But I'm not with this whole notion that that I should ever sugarcoat. That's not authenticity. You can't beat that. And I love this team too much to BS. I do. Why would I BS it? Why would I BS us? Make that make sense. So sometimes you got to call people out. You got to hold them accountable, and you gotta have those tough combos that no one wants to have. Could I pick up a phone and do all that? Yes. That's the type of person I am. I ain't afraid of nothing. Nothing. You heard me? Nothing. The only thing I fear is failure. That's it. Everything else? I got a life. I've been through a lot of my life. And I got a lot, word to 50 Cent. I got a lot of living to do before I die, and I ain't got time to waste. But it is funny he said that I'm running interference for Dumars. Tells me how dumb you are. I'm not running interference for nobody. I'm respecting greatness. You heard me? Greatness. President Dumars built a near dynasty in Detroit back in the day. I remember watching those teams. Troy Weaver scouted your favorite player's favorite player. And now those two guys are in the driving seat in the helm. And so far, they're killing it. I ain't running interference for nobody. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. That's all it's about. Literally. And Christopher Church 2653, you had a lot of comments on here, my man. I ain't gonna lie. But this comment I'll respond to. The only question is these signings are interesting and good. Is that Milwaukee is not going to be junk next year. So if we do good and Milwaukee does good, the trade doesn't matter. That's fair. That's fair. But if Giannis is gone, then don't expect none from that team. They are oiled and they are oiled by Giannis. Pause. That sounds crazy to say. But they go where Zion. They go where Giannis goes, right? Giannis is the driving force. He's the heart and soul, and he's the best player. Rarely do you see that dynamic happens, but that's why he is feeling so much guilt about potentially leaving. The same franchise that believed in him and took him, picked him when nobody else saw the vision. But personally, I ain't worried about these signings right now. Yeah, the Houston one is going to be big. Because KD got traded. I don't know why that slipped my mind. But he got traded. But, okay, they had to give up in order to get him. Granted, they do have an immediate need for a closer. So that's where Kevin Durant pops in. That's where he fits perfectly. But looking ahead, right, at the season, I ain't worried about Milwaukee. I'm not. Whether they keep Giannis or not, I'm not worried about Milwaukee. I don't think Miles Turner is that caliber of a floor racer. And I like Miles Turner, fellow Star Wars fan, rooting for my brother, but I ain't worried about that. If it ain't about the money, don't be blowing me up. Hey. Oh, man. I'm gonna respond to a couple more now. Then I'm gonna be done. Don't worry. I'm gonna get up out of here. This ain't gonna be a super long one. All time great. Good to see you again, my man. Talk that ish. Nola versus everyone. I swear. You gotta be cut different to move through a city like New Orleans. You gotta be built. You gotta be built for it. But it comes down as long as you're respectful, long as you're self-aware, nobody gonna have an issue with you. And looking at us as a team, it hurts that their official sports websites are full of more articles saying we ain't good and we're not going to achieve nothing. So that's why I go as hard as I do. I believe in this team, and I want y'all to feel the love and the passion. Because if you don't, you know what? Hey, the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out. Go to another franchise that doesn't care. Go to another franchise that isn't trying to actively make moves. But if not, hey, pull up to Pelican Nation. It's on and popping. That's how we doing. It's on and popping like popcorn. So, hey, you can enjoy the show, or you can be a part of it. That's how I look at it. So, I'd rather be a part of something than be on the outskirt of it. So, hey, that's all I want to say. But yeah, Christopher, you responded to a lot of stuff, and cool. Maybe just put it all into one, though. Personally, and even Jonathan, you asked a legitimate question or posed a legitimate question, but also, when you know context on things, you can't look at the same. So I'm not attacking nobody, but I can critique some. I can still show love and critique. You don't gotta be a fanboy and be, oh, we are not worthy of you, but you also don't gotta be a hater. There's a fine balance, and that's what I go for. So, hey, I know I was a little bit negative that video, and I'm currently dealing with a lot, as far as in my own, as far as with my location and stuff like that. So that's why I seem a little, all over the place. Promise, there's a reason, but I'm always happy to talk Pelicans ball. You could wake me up at this hour to talk about Pelicans ball. That's what I do it for. So, hey, I'm very excited for the summer league, and I'm very excited for training camp and preseason. There's a lot to look forward to, and when season hits and kicks, and we're, let's say we win like 51, 52 games, I'm gonna just say I told you so. I'm gonna just say that. We have suffered too long as a fan base. It is time. It is time for us to rise, and it's time for us to shine. So that's how I'm gonna leave y'all. Or actually, you know what? I'll go with a positive one. Because positivity, man, goes far in life. But Saints boy, 2821. Who that say go beat them Saints? It never gets old. Preach it. Hey, look. That's all I try to do. I try to preach the good word about those Pelicans, the word of God just in general, and just be a purveyor of light. That's all I try to be. A vessel. Any way, shape, or form. I believe in this team. Y'all should too. We are not the same team as before. There's a lot to look forward to. So, hey, buckle up. Get ready for the ride. So, stay tuned for more. But that's going to be it for this video. As always, it's great to talk with y'all. Stay tuned for more Pelicans Daily. It's in the title, it's in the name content. There's going to, fan arts just doing their thing. Make sure to like and share their stuff as well. Tap in. And in the meantime, y'all, stay blessed, stay amazing, and look forward to some more Pelicans Daily when Summer League really hits. Stay tuned. Ciao.